In 2015, Armaf released Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Toilette, which was a replication of Creed Aventus, and it revolutionized the fragrance industry and introduced the clone genre into fragrances. The Club de Nuit DNA was versatile, long-lasting, a great signature, and a really great price. It replicated Creed Aventus, especially in the air, for around an eighth of the price. In today's video, in partnership with Armaf, we're going to do an update on this topic of Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Toilette versus the Eau de Parfum versus the relatively new Precieux versus the not so limited edition version as well. These four fragrances have come out since 2015, so which one should you buy? Which one is worth your money the most? Let's do a comparison and see what each is about. First up, we have Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Toilette. I'm holding the Eau de Parfum here, but it's the same bottle presentation essentially as each other. The Eau de Toilette was revolutionary. This, to me, is like a more citrus-forward variation on the Creed Aventus DNA. If you don't know what the Creed Aventus DNA is, by the way, it's pineapple, citruses, smoky woods at the same time with a little bit of ambroxan in there. So it's mass appealing, fresh, citrusy, bright, a little bit mature as well, in my opinion, the original Creed Aventus. However, Creed Aventus did always have batch issues. Some people thought it was overpriced. Some people thought it didn't perform nicely enough in certain batches as well. Certain batches were more smoky, more fruity, and there's kind of everything in between. So you had people who were really obsessed and nerdy about different batch variations of Creed Aventus. I would say the Eau de Toilette is like the citrus lemon forward version of Creed Aventus. I will say I agree with most people saying that the opening is a little bit brash with the Eau de Toilette. It sort of is that lemon pledge opening people say, they talk about how it's a little bit harsh and brash maybe in the first 5-10 minutes, but for its price, especially at the time, it's still fantastic. It was a really great signature. Lasted around 6 to 8 hours with, let's say, medium to loud projection, and you can wear this pretty much all year round. It was more of a daytime signature, but nowadays I will say I don't think the Eau de Toilette is the best variation of Club de Nuit. It is the best one to go for if you want the absolute best value for money, and you also want something that is a bit more citrus focused and more loud projecting, a little bit more loud projecting than the other versions. But overall, it's not my top choice, but it's still good for those reasons. And then we have here the Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Parfum. I'm holding the 150 ml here, which I think is actually discontinued now. I think you only get the EDP in the 200 ml version or a 30 ml version. I don't know why they're quite strange with the bottle sizing here, but Eau de Parfum, I will say, is an improvement over the original. I've always said that it is more long-lasting, a bit smoother as well, and I will say this is like the more smoky variation of Creed Aventus. Smoky, musky. The Club de Nuit line in general has its own musks in there that are unique to this line in general, as in comparison to other Aventus-esque fragrances. It smells a little bit Middle Eastern. As I said, this is smoky as well. This is very long-lasting, around 12 hours as well now. Also a great signature. I think you can wear this more easily in the nighttime as well, so this is day and night all year round. For a long time, I was saying that the Eau de Parfum was the best version of Club de Nuit because I hadn't tried the limited edition. However, that has now changed. So we now have here the new Armaf Club de Nuit limited edition version 4. So no, I don't think it's reformulated, it's mainly a presentation change. I went to the Armaf exhibition recently in Birmingham. They invited me out there and I talked to the team about version 4 is a new version of Club de Nuit limited edition. They said to me, as far as they know, it's just a presentation change. You got the new coffer, makes you feel like a boss, like the man. You got the wiping cloth for your bottle, as well as the fact that you have cufflinks as well if you want to rock the Armaf logo in your clothing. Club de Nuit limited edition, I believe the first time I tried this was in Dubai when I went to the Armaf event there as well, in their factory wall. I tried one spray and I could tell this is the smoothest version of the three Club de Nuits, the original bottles. This to me is like the fruity pineapple focused version of Aventus. Very smooth, very handsome, a little bit more mature as well because it just smells higher quality. I think that added quality just gives it an edge of maturity. I'm not sure why. It lasts around 10 hours, it seems, with a medium projection, let's say. It is probably the best version right now of the original three that are meant to be replicating Creed Aventus. A great signature, mature, classy. I can see why they're going for that aesthetic with the coffer presentation. It just smells smoother. It smells like the best quality out of the three. You are paying a little bit more if you compare them mil for mil, I believe. So this is, you can get around 60 bucks still for 105 ml. I'm glad I do this bottle size with this now. So this is still fantastic value for money in my opinion. One of the best replications of Creed Aventus out there. It is still its own slight Club de Nuit twist on that DNA. It has that lines muskiness that I talked about before. It is Club de Nuit still. It's not the same as something like Alharmaine's Love and Shore. They all kind of replicate Creed Aventus in their own way. I will say though, this is one of the best Aventus style signatures out there right now. This is very good stuff and worth the hype. 37.9% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys really want to see our channel grow, go ahead and click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. And lastly, we have Club de Nuit Precieux. This is a little bit less natural smelling in my opinion compared to limited edition. They are going for Aventus Absolu replication here with this fragrance. Aventus Absolu is a bit more citrus focused, a little bit more vetiver focused, more rich, dense, more oak moss focused as well, longer lasting compared to the Creed Aventus original. It's less pineapple focused. I think it has blackcurrant in there instead, so it's kind of going a different direction, but still reminds you of Creed Aventus. This is like a more long-lasting, more beastly, slightly more synthetic replication of it. It has a caramel note in here as well, I believe, which adds its own slight twist as well. But it's around 90% the same as Creed Aventus Absolu. It's not the same quality. It's not as good value for money, in my opinion, as something like limited edition, because you're getting 55 ml, I believe. It's 55 ml, yes, for what, let's say 90 bucks. I have to double check the price tag, but in my opinion, it's not the best value for money Aventus Absolu, but it still feels like it's still pretty good quality, pretty good value for money for the price tag. So yes, they're probably using more expensive musks in here because it's quite beastly. This lasts around 12 hours. And again, you can wear this day and night. So if you want an affordable Creed Aventus Absolu replication, go for this. This is right now, as far as I can tell, is the closest thing to Aventus Absolu as a replication. There are other fragrances like Supremacy Collector's Edition, which to me is a perfect 10 out of 10, but it kind of sits in the middle in between Aventus and Aventus Absolu. It's kind of its own thing. I do love this fragrance, but I also like this a lot. This is a 9 out of 10 in my opinion. It has a lot of things going for it. It is a little bit more expensive, but still a very solid pickup. And that concludes this video, guys. So the two versions of Club de Nuit I'm generally recommending these days. If you want to replicate the original Aventus, go for the limited edition. It's all the same fragrance. It's not been reformulated as far as I can tell. Or if you want a more beastly modern take on Aventus, go for Club de Nuit Precieux, which is also very good. I always got to give it up to the original niche houses for creating the original idea. But of course, a lot of us out there are looking for more affordable alternatives. What do you think, guys? Do you still think the Club de Nuit line is very much relevant today? Are there any from this line that you want to try out next? Let us know in the comments down below, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my previous video of Middle Eastern fragrances. I give it a perfect 10 out of 10. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.